Well, guys, we are back once again for the Mandalorian Season 3, Episode 7 review. And let me tell you, first off, this episode was very intense. It was actually a lot better than last week's episode. So, going into the beginning of this episode, we are back on Coruscant with the one loyal Empire soldier that is still loyal to Moff Gideon. You see her going into an alley, you see an Imperial droid show up. She gives the codes, and who shows up? Moff Gideon. Now, Moff Gideon is somewhere in an unknown region. We don't know exactly where he is. All we know is that she informs him about what happened, where that there were Mandalorians that took over Navarro. He wants to know who, and she tells him there's two of the different clans. One, of course, of Bo-Katan as well as Din Djarin, and he thinks that their course is warring clans. Now, he does go into like a war room after telling her something else is going on. Now, we see different kinds of armor. We don't know exactly what this is. We don't know if it's just armor or possibly some kind of stormtroopers in this armor. And they go into this war room of different Imperial commanders talking about exactly different remnants of the galaxy, trying to still hold on to the Empire. And there's a mention of Thrawn, as well as also, from different things I read, one of the ones that is in there is actually the older brother to the Admiral that we later get to see in Star Wars, the prequel, the sequel trilogy, that does try to take over and betray Kylo Ren. That is, I can't remember his name, but you guys should remember who I'm talking about. But we do have where Moff Gideon is trying to still ask for reinforcements because of them worrying about the Mandalorians. And obviously, at the end of the episode, there's a very good reason why. Now, we do see where Bo-Katan and the rest of the ones that she gathered go to Navarro. And at that time, they're worried about, okay, is it the Empire trying to invade? No, it is the fleet that they took over from Moff Gideon. And when they land, there is some tension brewing between one fraction of the clan and the other fraction. Now, after going over what exactly the plan is to go on to Mandalore to try to take over it. And they're going to have the entire fleet party hovering over the planet while a scout party goes down to make sure that the planet will be safe, as well as the settlement, so that way they can start settling. And Bo asks for both clans to join slowly but surely. You got Din being the first one, and then of course Grogu, and you also have of course Sasha Banks' character, Axe Wolves, and Vizsla, and among others. Now I will say on a side note, that was kind of funny that they were unable to help with BB-11, but they were able to make him B-12 to where Baby Yoda could go in there and use his body to be able to move around a little bit easier. And since he's able to do that, that's how he does it. And we kind of have this funny where he's thinking to Din Djarin that he's old enough to be able to do all this. And I will say it was pretty funny. I will say that. But we do have where the scout party goes over Mandalore, and even Vizsla says he didn't realize it was this bad, and Axe Wolf says he was here when this happened. So they go down, and they see that there's nothing there, and then they're going, okay, this is going to be the plan, that they're going to try to go to the old forge to basically try to build up the settlement. Now, they go a little bit further in, and they come across this unknown vessel that is apparently carrying Mandalorians. They are still loyal to Bo-Katan after telling her that there are survivors from the Thousand Night of Tears. Bo-Katan does realize that, she tells him what she did, that she surrendered due to trying to save her people. Moff Gideon betrayed her, and that's how he got the Darksaber. And she does inform them that it was her fault. And then later, she informs Din, and they have this moment to where she tells him, I don't know how to lead these people, because she says sooner or later they're not going to be able to lead under one fraction with both warring clans. And he even tells her that the only reason why he's following her is because of loyalty and courage and how she is and kind of person she is, and that's why he's loyal to her. And it actually really does open up her eyes in a minute to really go, wow, he is loyal to me. And it's kind of like, okay, is he loyal to her, to the idea? What exactly is he loyal to? And I will say that in this, it was pretty cool. I mean, it was really cool to really show a different side of Din, because it does show that he is loyal to those that are loyal to him, and of course Grogu as well. And when this happens, we do see where They go further into the area, but the armorer does say that she will take the rest of these wounded men and women back to the fleet so that way they can get proper care. And when they go further into the area, they are attacked by this mysterious monster, but not before then by being attacked by these random this random monster. It could have been a mythosaur. I'm not exactly sure if it was or some type of other creature, but we do see at the very end of it that they're able to escape and go into the caves and go further inward. And when this happens, they start seeing some type of mines, and the only thing that I'm seeing is looks like it could be Imperial. When they go down, they do hear jetpacks, and they are ambushed by these wannabe Mandalorians. These are Imperials. These are Imperials wearing Beskar armor. So they do get attacked by these individuals, and when this happens, we do see that they're not really overran, but Axe Wolves does go for help. That Vizsla does give him covering fire in there. He's able to go for help for the fleet, as well as everyone else is trying to hold on as best they can to push on forward. And when this happens, this was really cool because we got to see Din Djarin actually lead the charge to the Mandalorians. I mean, he pretty much was I would say the commander. And I said this before, that I feel like that Din Djarin is the commander or the general, and you have Bo-Katan being the strategist, as well as Vizsla being the muscle. And it really did show this because to get further inward, and you see that there is an Imperial built somewhere deep within Mandalore. After all this time, they're like, what is this? And then as soon as you see this, you just see doors go down, and it was an ambush between whoever that was with Din Djarin does get killed, and Din Djarin does try to fight off against these Imperials. Unfortunately, they overpower him and they hold him down, and then who shows up but Moff Gideon in brand new Stormtrooper Imperial armor of Beskar armor that he has been using for the last several months or years to go ahead and do this. And then he's been on Mandalore this entire time. He's been on Mandalore this entire time, guys. So he's just been using that to try to rebuild the Empire in his image. So obviously, we can see in this that he's not really loyal to Thrawn, because everyone thinks that he is loyal to Thrawn, but he is more loyal to his own cause and himself. And so right when that happens, he wants to go ahead and have Din Djarin go to the room, and then also we do have where he has bomb fighters get sent to go take out the fleet. So that's going to be interesting. And he even tells Bo-Katan to give him back the Darksaber, and of course she declines. And then once this happens, she even says, like, kind of looks at the rest of the group like, okay, are you guys with me? And they just, the armorer says Vizsla, he goes, this is the way. So they just start shooting, and then they open up the doors, and that's when you kind of get like a scene from Phantom Menace as well as Revenge of the Sith, when they go ahead and try to open it up with the lightsaber, and that's pretty much what Bo-Katan does, so that way they can escape and be able to get out of there. And the Vizsla, he does, I mean, this guy, he literally did a lot that was going to be amazing. All I can say is that he went ahead and does all this, and he goes and just knocks it out of the park. He takes on so many Imperials, and then finally, when he takes on, he has his machine gun's pretty much gone, right? So as soon as this happens, he's about ready to take the rest of them on, and then he kills them. And then 3 almost royal guards that we got to see in The Last Jedi, the first version of these guys, before we get to see The Last Jedi show up, and he goes against them in single-hand combat. Unfortunately, they do overpower him, and they kill him, and that's how the episode ends. So this episode was highly intense. It really reminded me of the episode in Rebels where we got to see where Sabine and the rest of the crew was going up against Mandalorians or Imperial Mandalorians that was loyal to the Empire, and then also that these Royal Guards showed up, as well as also that Moff Gideon has been on Mandalore this entire time. And at the same time, we're going to have a fight not only on the ground but in space as well. So I think that when the season finale does come, it's going to be a very big fight. I think maybe we may have a special guest star show up. Is Luke going to show up? I don't know. Is Boba Fett going to show up? I really don't know. I really don't see a reason why Luke would show up at this time, nor Boba Fett, because Boba Fett does not declare himself to really be part of Mandalorian. And same thing with Luke. He has really no reason to be a part of this. And then when he was trying to save Baby Yoda last season, so he really doesn't have a reason to this time. Bo-Katan. So it's going to be kind of interesting who's going to come and help. Is it going to be the New Republic? Is it going to be the other Mandalorians? Who is it going to be that's going to help save the day? And what is Bo-Katan going to do? That is yet to be decided for next week's episode. Guys, let me know what you thought about this episode. Was it great? Was it bad? Was it good? Was it awesome? Did it suck? What was your overall thoughts? Me personally, I love this episode. I thought it was really cool. I thought it gave a lot of depth to other Mandalorians that stayed on Mandalore, and also more about Moff Gideon, what he's planning on doing, what he's trying to do, and at the same time about what the other Mandalorians are trying to do as well. So overall, guys, let me know what your thoughts are about this down in the comments down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the review. If you did, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys, as always, on the very next one.